Salutations, Utopians. Hope all is well in your world. Global here. As promised, I'm slowly but surely chopping down round by round the NFL draft, reviewing, and doing my projections on my favorite picks, and also the ones that made some noise. Speaking of the making some noise category, as you all know, the first round had two quarterbacks taken. Uh, Cam Ward, who shout out to him, got his number WR1 from Miami signed today by the Tennessee Titans, and Jackson Dart, who went to the Giants, who traded up in the late rounds to get him. Well, this round had a similar result. Two quarterbacks were taken, one by the Cleveland Browns, yes, the same Cleveland Browns who drafted Shador in the fifth round, and then also they got themselves the Seattle Seahawks got Alabama's Jalen Monroe, who registered since the 40 time has officially been uh, recording, the only other quarterback to run in the 4.3s besides Michael Vick. Extremely high ceiling. As you all know, Seattle, speaking of teams drafting when they have quarterbacks, swapped out Geno Smith, not directly, for Sam Darnold, and then relieved Sam Howell after acquiring Milroe through the draft. So honestly, this was a very productive, busy, active team. Um, you know, Cleveland taking this guy Gabriel. He was the knock on him is he has really small hands. He's a southpaw, uh, and so a lot of people are scratching their heads why that why that pick was made. Reports that he might get moved already are surfacing. I'm not a big newsbreaker. I did like Harold Fannin Jr. though out of Bowling Green. Their first pick, their pick before that one. Uh, who led his conference in reception and receiving yards. And for a tight end, that's phenomenal. I think he was in like the 1500s with the yards and over 100 yards catching, north of 100. So, him that pick along with him going to Stefanski, and then what I really also look for in a prospect is the environment that he's going to. With Njoku already starting, and Fannin being able to follow up, I really think there's a lot of quality tools here to make this pick be something worth to watch. Joku has been plagued by injuries uh, during his tenure in the league. Fannin Jr. has a great focus on catching the ball. I know the NFL from college is totally different, but he's got some very great intangibles that should not be go unnoticed. Uh, it's going to be really interesting to see, how this unfolds. He had a big game against the Penn State and Texas A&M, so he seems like a riser out there. And it's long overdue. Cleveland has been trying to find a complimentary tight end, if not a full-time starter, for Njoku. Obviously, isn't getting any younger. Another pick I like, not just being biased, but I actually like Arkansas. Isaac Tesla. Kind of sounds like Tesla the car, but TESLAA 6'4", 220, two in the mid 220s, I guess, and he ran a 4.3. Great vertical. Watched some training camp highlights today. He's out there snagging. I love Amon St. Brown. He plays like he's 6'4", but it's really nice to have that luxury because him, Amon Ra, and Jamo Williams from Alabama. Speaking of Alabama players, uh, they're kind of like the smaller speed guys. They can make big plays like they're huge, like they're tall. But to have that, they've been trying so hard to find that guy. Whether it been Tim Patrick, whether it been Josh Reynolds, they've been trying to find that third big receiver to really reel it all in outside of Laporta, so who's the tight end. So Tesla is definitely a wide receiver, but he moves like but he's the size of a tight end and he's mobile like a slot guy. This could be a really great gem found by Brad Holmes in the third round. Um, Another thing I liked from this draft was the Denver Broncos getting Pat Bryant. Shout out to my guy Dave talks Broncos. He also talks all sports, but uh, you know he can give you a lot of spill on the Broncos better than me. But I really do like Bryant. I know that he registered one of the slower 40 times, but think of him more as a Fitzgerald kind of guy. You know what I mean? Intangible route runner, strong hands, that kind of thinking from Illinois. Illinois is going to start really popping up on your screen. Even on their basketball side, they are now recruiting a lot of overseas talent. I think they're going to have a whole starting five from Europe, from the Euro leagues this year in basketball. And so I always look also at programs to help, see like who's the guy that's emerging to continue to push the program on the map. And I think he's capable of doing so. He seems like a real special guy. The other pick that I thought was very interesting to me was Savion Jones from TCU. The Packers picked up Matthew Golden, who I think on paper is showing superstar. And then when you look at what the quarterback situation was at Texas, that's what really tripped me out with Savion. He's another guy, 6'4", 220, explosive, can do a little bit of everything. He was a Swiss Army knife, even though he's 6'4", 220. He threw it. He's the only player in TCU history to throw a touchdown, run a touchdown, and catch a touchdown. So a jack of all trades at 6'4", 220 something pounds. This guy's really special. He's very physical. Don't get it twisted. He's mean with that stiff arm, which is always a promising sign from a guy who expects to to target to get targets and to be able to track the ball in air. So he's going to be a special guy. And then another name that everyone needs to be fully aware of, Kalen Johnson from Iowa. Uh, he has this patient way of running the ball that reminds you, ironically, of another Steeler great, Le'Veon Bell. He's a big back guy, 6'1", 224, no nonsense. And, as you all know, Najee Harris is now with the Chargers. I expect him to kind of do similar things to what the former Raven running back did last year, going over to the Chargers. I don't know how much Najee has left. I'm sure the Chargers did make some moves in the later rounds, so I will get to that. But overall, Caleb Johnson is a guy you need to watch out for. I think he can easily out the gate get 900 yards rushing. He's had some drops, so I don't know if they'll necessarily count on him as a pass catcher. But for sure, between them tackles, it's nothing but, again, it's a situation. There's none but field in front of him if he wants to go ahead and take that pay dirt to the bank. And I'm sure he'll be motivated seeing, his peer and Ashton Genty go top 5 and already making top 10 running back money in the league because he went, for a guy who went to a mid-major. I think Johnson's going to be another name in this running back class that we're going to look back on and say, this is going to be a rich running back class, and Johnson's going to add him to that list of people on this draft that you're going to be like, oh man, what a running back class this was. Like last year's quarterback class with Drake May and Jaden Daniels and Zach Wilson. Not Zach Wilson. I'm thinking of the Broncos quarterback off the top of my head, but this was a rich class of players. We didn't even get to see Michael Penix out there, so there's a lot of talented players, and Caleb is going to be on that list. Be on the lookout. That pretty much will conclude in terms of what immediately stood out to me from this draft class in the third round, who I think have talent, opportunity, right, and the right, paired, kind of subtopic, but in correct environment to actually go out and immediately day one make an impact. Those are the guys that immediately stood out to me. All right, Utopians, I'll try to do better next time. I'll have round 4 as soon as possible. Till next time, Global out.